Night drums beat hard and fast. Feet moved. Hands clapped. Voices rose. The sound pulled every ear and heart closer. Laughter mixed with challenge. The night felt alive. Two sisters slipped away from the firelight. Steps moved quick and quiet. No one followed. One walked ahead. One followed behind. The drums stayed loud, but words between them cut sharper. The ground opened near their feet. Old, deep, forgotten. No one spoke of it anymore. Still, it waited. A voice broke first. "You always take what is mine." The words struck like stones. Anger spilled out fast. "You take the eyes. You take the praise. You take the future." The other stood still. Hands open, head high. "I did nothing." The drums grew louder behind them. The sound pushed the moment forward. Breath came quick. The night pressed close. "You think I do not see?" "I see everything." The answer came steady. "You are wrong." The space between them tightened. One step forward, one step back. The ground stayed silent. The push came without warning. Air rushed. A body fell. The earth swallowed the sound until it ended in a heavy thud. The night froze. No scream followed. No cry. No movement. A shape leaned over the edge. Eyes searched the dark. Breath shook. "Answer me." Nothing came back. The pit held its silence. The drums kept beating far away. A whisper slipped into the dark. "It is done." Feet turned. Steps ran fast. The sound of escape mixed with drums. Fear hid behind speed. No one noticed. No one asked. Darkness closed over the opening. Dust settled. The ground kept its secret below. Breath moved. Pain stirred. Fingers scraped earth. A body shifted. Life stayed. Water dripped somewhere close. Roots hung within reach. The dark pressed hard, but it did not win. A weak voice rose up. Soft, broken, "Sister, you do not know what you just did." The sound faded into the pit. No answer came. Above, the drums slowed. Songs ended. The night grew quiet. The truth stayed buried but not gone. Two cries rose under the same moon. The sound came together, sharp and new. Hands lifted both babies at once. Smiles spread. Some nodded. Some whispered. They came together. They will walk together. Old voices spoke with calm. "Wait. Twins share one road." The words settled deep. Years passed fast. Feet grew strong. Voices grew firm. One listened more. One watched more. Laughter came less often between them. One often sat close to the elders. Ears stayed open. Eyes stayed steady. Words were few, but actions spoke loud. The elders called her near. Hands pointed to the ground. Wisdom moved from mouth to ear. The other stood outside the circle. Arms crossed, tight, eyes burned. "Why is she there? Why not me?" Whispers moved fast. They slipped between huts and paths. "She is chosen. She is favored." The words grew legs. A leader lifted his staff and spoke of coming news. The village leaned in. Drums rested, waiting. Talk of marriage filled mouths. The chief's son, a strong match. The words twisted. Before reaching the ears they touched. "She wants it. She plans it." The truth broke. In half and fell. One shared words with a young hunter. Respect showed in his bow. Trust sat between them. "You speak with sense. You carry peace." Eyes followed every step after that. Watching never stopped. An old woman paused while passing. Her eyes stayed long on one face. Lines deepened. "Your heart is loud," she said. "Dark thoughts dig deep pits." The warning fell like seed on stone. A head turned away. Feet moved off. No answer came back. Days passed. Anger grew. Jealousy fed it well. The bond thinned until it cracked. Questions stayed locked inside. No truth was asked for. Silence chose its side. A thought formed. It stayed. It grew teeth. Drums called everyone together. The sound rolled far. Feet moved fast. Hearts beat quicker. One stepped forward with a calm face and a hidden storm. Eyes fixed ahead. Jaw tight. The moment leaned forward. What was shared at birth now stood ready to break. A staff lifted high. The crowd leaned in. Breath held. A clear voice cut through the air. "She will speak for peace." The words landed hard. Sounds moved fast from mouth to mouth. Some nodded. Some gasped. Some turned to look. Heat burned in one pair of ears. Only one part of the words stayed. Chosen, lifted, favored. The rest fell away. A step forward came quick. Hands opened in peace. "This is not what you think." A head turned away. Shoulders stiffened. No answer came back. Darkness crept in with heavy thoughts. Hearts stayed loud even as voices went quiet. A soft call followed. "Walk with me, sister." Feet moved away together. Light faded behind them. Silence grew thicker. The old opening waited again, wide, still watching. Words struck sharp near the edge. "You planned this all along. You took my place." A steady answer came back. You are wrong. Anger jumped first. Hands shoved before the mind could stop them. Air rushed past. The fall stretched long. Sound hit hard and ended. A shape froze at the edge. Eyes searched the black. Breath shook. No sound answered. Fear sat beside silence. Feet turned fast. One body ran back alone. A loud lie met the crowd. She ran away. Heads nodded. The lie settled in. Below. Pain stirred. Breath came back slow. Life refused to leave. Fingers found wet ground. Water touched skin. Strength stayed. Roots hung close. Thin but real. Hands reached and held. Rough marks scratched the walls. Old signs. Broken signs. Stories carved in pain. A thought formed clear. I am not the first. Calm was chosen. Panic was pushed away. Energy was saved. A soft call rose up. Help. Nothing came back. Only the sound returned. Darkness spoke with echoes. Old words returned like fireflies. Dark thoughts dig deep pits. A soft call followed. Walk with me, sister. Feet moved away together. Light faded behind them. Silence grew thicker. The old opening waited again. Wide, still watching. Words struck sharp near the edge. You planned this all along. You took my place. A steady answer came back. You are wrong. Anger jumped first. Hands shoved before the mind could stop them. Air rushed past. The fall stretched long. Sound hit hard and ended. A shape froze at the edge. Eyes searched the black. Breath shook. No sound answered. Fear sat beside silence. Feet turned fast. One body ran back alone. A loud lie met the crowd. She ran away. Heads nodded. The lie settled in. Below. Pain stirred. Breath came back slow. Life refused to leave. Fingers found wet ground. Water touched skin. Strength stayed. Roots hung close. Thin but real. Hands reached and held. Rough marks scratched the walls. Old signs. Broken signs. Stories carved in pain. A thought formed clear. I am not the first. Calm was chosen. Panic was pushed away. Energy was saved. A soft call rose up. Help. Nothing came back. Only the sound returned. Darkness spoke with echoes. Old words returned like fireflies. Dark thoughts dig deep pits. The meaning stood tall. A plan took shape. Breath stayed slow. Life was claimed again. Above. A new voice filled the space meant for another. People listened. Heads bowed. Words came loud. Too loud. Power tasted sweet. Respect rushed in fast, before truth could catch it. Sleep broke often. Dreams cut deep. Waking brought no rest. Shadows stayed close. Steps felt watched. Drums fell silent when that voice rose. The air felt wrong. Whispers returned. Thin but sharp. Old eyes watched from a distance. Nothing was said at last. A warning dropped low. The ground remembers. Color left the face. Fire dimmed. Words began to shake. Breath broke. Truth pushed from below, heavy and alive. The lie was locked inside, held tight with fear. But the earth had already heard, and the earth began to answer. Rain fell hard. The earth drank and drank, but the pit drank faster. Water rose, clawing at the dark. Breath became heavier, limbs weaker. Strength slipped away. Pain pressed. Life fought. A weak cry escaped into the storm. It trembled and echoed. Steps paused in the forest. Did you hear that? Feet turned toward the sound. Hearts jumped. The cry drew near. The old pit appeared like a mouth in the ground. Eyes fell on the dark. A shout pierced the rain. Ropes dropped. Hands reached. Life was pulled from the dark, air-filled lungs. Breath came sharp. Life stretched long under the open sky. The word spread faster than the storm. News ran through feet and voices over roofs and paths. The village gathered. Shock filled the eyes. Attention turned to one standing frozen. Fear tangled every muscle. Motion stopped. Eyes could not look away. A hand rose. One word flew. She pushed me. Gasps shattered the silence. The village trembled. Words bounced and collided. Voices trembled first, then grew quiet. Pride clashed with disbelief. Denial leaped forward. She lies. The voice cracked. Too fast. Too loud. Old eyes moved. A figure stepped forward. Fingers pointed to marks on the pit walls. These signs are old. Heads nodded in agreement. The past spoke through stone. The earth remembered more than tongues could say. The voice that denied began to break. Fear replaced pride. The truth tumbled from lips that tried to hold it. Confession came in pieces, then whole. A staff rose. Silence waited. Judgment was announced. The crowd held breath. Eyes widened. The weight of decision hung heavy. One stepped forward. Calm, but fierce. I choose truth, not blood. A command echoed, soft yet strong. Exile was called, not death. Murmurs filled the village. Shock spread like wildfire. The authority bowed to the choice. Justice turned, different from expectation. Death did not come. The earth grew still once more. Steps echoed alone. A figure walked away, head bowed. The village watched. Listening grew deep. Lessons settled in quiet hearts. The story slowed. Breath returned. But the lesson stayed, echoing through every footstep and every word spoken in the village from that day forward. A staff pointed long down the road. Eyes followed. Silence stretched across the gathering. Orders left lips heavy. Feet moved slowly, dragging against the earth. Shame clung to each step, heavier than any burden carried before. A single glance turned back. One last look at the place of life and song. Words came low, almost swallowed by the wind. I wanted your life. A calm answer rose from across the distance. You lost your own instead. Steps continued. Away from drums and voices, beyond the circle of watchers, the village held its breath. Not a whisper broke the quiet. Hands reached out, steadying life. Care moved fast. Breath returned stronger than the night had taken. Strength returned quicker than expected. One rose again. Eyes turned toward the circle of elders. Words flowed, soft but firm, carrying calm through tension. Voices that had quarreled fell silent to listen. Truth planted its roots. Respect grew from honesty. Walls of anger crumbled, replaced by understanding. Feet moved in unison. Men and women lifted stones. Hands laid them down over the dark opening that had swallowed secrets and fear. Dust settled. The pit was closed. No voice named it again. Authority spoke. A rule was called, no judgment without truth. Hands struck the ground in agreement. Eyes watched, nodded, remembered. The law sank into hearts as firmly as the stones sank into earth. Drums sounded softly now. Not for warning, not for anger, only to mark the rhythm of a new way. The story slowed. Breath eased. Life continued, and all watched as the tale stepped back, leaving its lesson in the memory of the village, echoing with quiet power. Silence stretched across the village. Even the wind seemed to wait. Voices rose, low and steady. The elders spoke. Words carried weight. Jealousy digs deeper than anger. Heads bowed and nodded around the circle. Every face felt the truth of it. A second voice followed, slow and certain. A hidden lie never sleeps. Eyes widened. Truth pressed against memory. Water rises, it was said. So must truth. Words poured like the tide, unstoppable, claiming what had been buried. The earth itself was called as witness. Fingers tapped the ground. Steady, strong. Power taken by evil burns the hand. The air trembled with old knowledge. Stories of old mistakes rose. Names of the fallen whispered between breaths. Lessons held tight. Silence fell heavy after each, pressing the weight of wisdom into every shoulder. A hand lifted not for punishment, but for mercy. Mercy can be stronger than revenge. The words hung in the air, soft but unbreakable. Children leaned in. They listened, eyes bright, minds sharp. The lesson was simple but deep. Hearts understood. Drums beat soft now. Gentle rhythms sealed the words. Every pulse carried them further, from ear to ear, mouth to mouth. Stories traveled in whispers and footsteps. In the quiet memory of all who heard, a final voice rose above the echoes, firm and clear. The earth saw the lie, and the lie fell back into it. Silence returned. But it was a different silence, one full of understanding, remembered forever. Lessons settled deep. The village breathed as one, carrying truth through every life that would follow.